Hello and welcome to another 15 minutes of tangling. So yesterday I took a day off of recording my 15 minutes because I spent my 15 minutes putting in this gold border and then redefining the black border around it, and I figured 15 minutes of me inking in with a marker wouldn't be terribly entertaining. So here we are today to do another tangle, but I do want to show you, this is the gold pen that I used for the border, and the size, I don't know if you can see that, it's like a fine tip. It's a little blurry, but you can still get the idea. So I really like these Pen Touch, I believe they're paint pens. The metallic shine on them, I just quite like them. And then for the inside, where I added a little bit of gold, I did use the gold metallic jelly roll for that one, for on the inside. And then I used just a regular Micron 01 to redefine the border, the black border again, both the inside border and the outside. The inside border can get, it looks like sort of that it's worn down a little bit after we're putting white charcoal on there, so it's nice to go back and redefine those borders. So the last time we were drawing, we finished up this aquafleur right here, and today we're going to begin adding in a Punzel pattern right along here. Punzel is another one of those patterns that has quite a bit of movement, and I think it took me some time to get comfortable with Punzel the first few times I drew it, and I will say every time I draw Punzel it sort of takes a shape of its own, so I sort of try to let it become what it wants to become. I can only sort of gently guide it in a direction that I have specified. But if you notice, sometimes I do leave gaps that I will go in and fill in later, that I feel helps me give a little bit of a better amount of like wiggle room every time I go in and draw another one of these curved V shapes, especially if I have an idea, like I want this Punzel to go along this curve here, so I'll sometimes leave that gap to leave a little bit of wiggle room so I can shape the direction of my Punzel. Sometimes my curved V shapes are skinny, and sometimes they're not, just all sort of take shape as I draw. In this case, I kind of want them, these curved inverted V shapes, to get a little larger as I go, and I would like to be able to add some extra embellishment later, so making them a little larger just leaves more room for that embellishment. And this pattern is covered in the Madame Renaissance book, so if you want further instruction, please give that a reference. So I'm going to go back and connect any of those lines where I left a gap. I think when I was first learning this pattern, I tried to always have these lines connect, and I think that made it a little bit difficult for me. So I have just adapted to sort of leaving these gaps and going back and filling them in later. Alright, so that's the first step there. Now we're going to go through and create the second half of these shapes. So we're going to imagine that this one is going to come here, then go under, and then curve around. And then this one will go under and curve around. So let's imagine this one will go under and curve around. This one will go under and curve. This one goes under and curves around, goes under and curves. Again, I like this to sort of just be able to take shape. If it runs into one of the other curves, just let it follow that Hollabaugh rule of going behind, and it should all turn out just fine. Let's do this one here. It's going to be fun because it'll probably curve around this way, go through right here, and curve around right there. Okay. Nice. That one's going to be a good one for embellishing. It's nice and big. Let's see, this one will go behind right here. There we go. This one will come around out just above there. We'll have to decide what to do with our interstices when we get done drawing all of our initial lines in and when we start doing our embellishments. There's quite a few interesting interstices here. Okay, and this one. There we go. All right, so that's the basic outline. And then I'm going to go in and aura. I'm going to start, actually, I'm going to start with this side right here. Just put in an aura line. Later I'm going to be adding some white highlight in this space here, so make sure there's enough of a gap that you can either use your jelly roll or your white charcoal in there later. This is a pretty fun pattern. I remember when I took my CZT training, Sakura came and gave us sort of some samples of their different products. And one of the things they gave us was watercolor markers in various shades of blue. And so I remember the first time I did this Punzel pattern, I was also playing around with these blue watercolor markers and seeing if I could get them to shade or blend. it was a fun experiment. I love having all of these fun Zentangle memories. It's been part of my life for quite some time now. It's quite a beautiful evening. It got a bit toasty today, and so I waited till a little later to come outside and tangle, and I'm so glad I did. It's absolutely beautiful. I would say it's in the mid-70s, and there's just a really gentle breeze. The birds are singing. It's a great time of evening. Alright, we have one side aura'd. Let's go ahead and get that other side aura'd as well. This guy's only going to have a little aura. I love adding these internal auras, particularly when I'm doing patterns that have a little bit of a Celtic flair, or there's an element of weaving. Similar how these shapes go under one another. I think the aura helps my eye to have some continuity of figuring out what's going over and what's going under. Like when I am drawing the pattern Trinity, I love to add an internal aura there. And I think also when I was practicing the pickpocket tangle, adding an aura there was also very helpful for my eye. And it gives you another fun thing to embellish. I wanted to thank all of you for the comments that you're leaving me. It's so much fun to hear how people are doing, to see people following along. I love having just another forum to connect with folks. So thank you so much for all of the comments and conversation. It's nice to be part of a supportive art community. Almost there. I need to find out what kind of bird that is. It just chitters and chitters. Very talkative. I can tell which one is the robin, but the other one I'm not quite so sure about yet. All right. So we have our border. So I think on some of these, I would like to follow the lead of the Madame Renaissance book and add some muka embellishments inside some of these shapes. So I think I'll try out one or two of them in our last few seconds for today. do I want to go from there? Such a nice breeze. Let's see, maybe one more right here. And then this guy will go under a little bit. There we go. All right. Well, I think I'll debate later on what I want to do with the interstices there. All right, so that's our 15 minutes of tangling for today. Let me see if I can get that whole bit. There we go. You can see our punzel. Tomorrow we'll go in and add our muka pattern and see what other embellishments we'd like to add. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.